Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit. And while I'm at it, I'm also here to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave Lego the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. If you feel like being a lurker, well, you can just go ahead and lurk. That's also an option, and it's valid. We got Vash here. Welcome, Vash. Happy to have you here. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Welcome, welcome. It is a Thursday evening. It's a model kit building night. Happy to have you here, folks. Do want to say right off the bat that we are currently at, boom, 27 subscribers. The goal is to get to 40. I shut up about how many subscribers I have every time I hit 40. It is also September. Hello, Aristofan. Welcome, welcome. From now until October 1st, 25% off new subscriptions. Also, until September 17th, which is the thing that just started today, from now until the 17th, there are extra bonus bits. So if you want to cheer 300 bits, I'll get 10% more. And that's on Twitch. You don't have to pay more. I just get more. What was I going to say? Boom. Here's the thing. Yes. From October 1st, yeah, till October 1st. Had a thing here with Google. Okay, that will hopefully be okay. I'm dropping frames. Everything went to hell, but it looks like things are coming back. My apologies. Don't know. Oh, no, that's also going bad again. We're not getting disconnected, but I'm not dropping any frames, but the bits, the bit rate went to hell. And my Google Doc popped up trying to reconnect, which is fun. That's very fun. We see, what is there something downloading in the background? Let me get out of that. Let's see here. No, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, so that's till the 17th. 10% on top of every 300 plus cheer, and all power-ups. I don't do power-ups because they would be weird and people can do weird things with those. So I don't do power-ups, but yeah, there we go. And then there'll be bonus gift subs at the end of the month, which is not all month, but just the end. Hopefully that explanation helps y'all out there. A little bit of news as we go to the overhead camera. Let's go to the overhead here, working on this. I mentioned how next week I was going to be looking at a game. I was getting a code for a game, and I was going to be able to talk about it and stream it. And how I wasn't annoyed. I was surprised that I had yet to receive said game. The code for the game. Turns out I had my months wrong. That game, what game was it? What is it called? It is called Europa. Turns out Europa is not coming out until next month. So next month, I should still receive a code for Europa, and then I will be able to play Europa on stream next month, not this month. So I made an error. But on the positive side, I did receive a code for a game called Garden of the Sea. Garden of the Sea is coming to Steam the first week of October. I believe that's coming the 3rd. It's coming October 3rd. But I'm able to stream that game on October 1st. I could actually stream it now because it was a VR game that they are porting to the Switch and the PC. So it's already been out. So there's no embargo for review or stream. But I decided I would do it October 1st because that will be right before its Steam release. And this is going to be with the caveat, with the understanding that it did release on other platforms, but won't be released on Steam when I play it. This will be the first time that I play a game before it's out. Hey, Lord Crash did, so that's going to be fun. Garden by the Sea, I'll be playing October 1st. Next week, I already have something planned on stream. Again, I thought it was going to be a different game, and it is not that game. So Garden of the Sea will be October 1st, and then later in the month, we will play Europa. Europa comes out October When does that come out? I had to look it up because I was wrong. Oh, it comes out October 11th. So I will be playing that on October 15th then. Yeah. So 15th, the third Tuesday of the month. There are 5 Tuesdays next month. So I will have 5 opportunities to do some things. So yeah. So I'm going to wait for that to come out properly. So next month, that's the VR game I got on PS5. Yeah, so it's coming out to Steam, the non-VR version. It's coming to Steam and Switch. So again, that's going to be 2 games that I'll be playing that I did not pay for, that I received a code for next month, and that's wild. I'm not used to that yet, and it's very cool. So that was just a little bit of updates. Next week, my plan is to play Hearthstone next Tuesday. I have at least one. I have one new deck because the mini set just came out this week. By next Tuesday, I should probably have another deck ready to go. That will be some fun nonsense. That's my expectation. My expectation is that I will have figured out another deck by then, at least one more. And then I have other ones. I think I have 2 decks that I have not shown on stream that are fun. I got a Porcupine deck that is very annoying for a lot of people, but I think it's really fun because they buffed the egg by making it cheaper. You need an egg. Basically, you hatch an egg, and then you copy that egg a bunch, and then you hatch the eggs a bunch, and then you copy the eggs a bunch, and then you build a porcupine that's really, really big, or you copy that porcupine that's really, really big, and then you trigger that porcupine's death rattle, and it just shoots your opponent in the face for massive damage. Because the porcupine, its death rattle is that you shoot at random enemies, I should say. You shoot 1 point of damage per attack. So you just buff it up to hell. And you can also, if you're like, well, I need to clear the board because I'm going to die before I can do all the cool shit I want to do with this deck. You can instead put a 0 mana spell on it that turns it poisonous, and then it'll just kill all of your opponent's minions, even if it's not that big. It's fun. That's a fun deck. I have been enjoying my time with that particular bit of nonsense. All right, so we got to put this on like here. This polycap keeps bouncing out of my hand. It's very frustrating. All right, there you go, polycap. And now we'll put the other side on here. We are working on the arms of our full armor 7th Gundam. It's a magazine Gundam. And so we're working on that. It's arm day here on the old stream. But yeah, so Hearthstone next week. And then the week after will be my 4-time-a-year stream where I do Pat Bear's Anime Club live, record it live, which is going to be my summer wrap-up / fall preview. There's going to be some bangers next month. And this month's been pretty good. I haven't talked about every show that I've been enjoying, but there's been some fun stuff out there. There's this season had the least so far of this year, the least amount of isekai. I think it was only 8. But a lot of the isekai were good. There's one that's real bad. There's one that's for edgelords, and I'm too old to be an edgelord. There edgelords that are my age? Oh, for sure there are. But like, there's a show this season, and we'll get into it, at some point. There's a show this season that, like, I bet in 10 years when I'm talking about anime with people, there'll be somebody who's like, oh, well, one of my favorites from like 10 years ago was this Fatal Frame. It's not Fatal Frame, but it's Failure Frame. That's one of my favorite shows of all time. And I'll be like, okay, so you're in your 20s now? Cool. That makes a lot of sense. Damn, we're already at the summer wrap-up. I didn't really watch anything, says Nathan. Hey, Nathan. So this season, like the best shows this season for me anyway are like sequels, and there's been some very good new stuff. This season's been very good about, to me anyway, and there's some stuff I haven't even watched yet, but to me anyway, this season was very good about like, this is a perfectly fine show. There are a lot of perfectly fine shows this season, which is great because winter and spring had some fucking bangers, and like, I don't need a show that's going to rival my favorite shows of the first half of the year. I just want some good stuff, and we're getting a couple big ones next season to kind of wrap things up. So if one season is just like, okay, then I think that's fine. Congratulations on 95 streams streak, Lord Crashington. I totally watched like 5 episodes of the Edgelord show. It seems like okay trash anime. Yeah. This season has the I've been abandoned, and now I'm going to be super edgy and kill everybody that abandoned me. And it also has, in my opinion, an anime that shouldn't exist, which is the isekai of, I'm based on a real person, and I probably killed myself in a murder-suicide, but in this reality, I didn't kill myself, and until I find my beloved, I can't kill myself. And it's a comedy because he builds a harem, and he's just this sad poetic man, like literally a poet. But it's based on a real person who may or may not have been part of a murder-suicide with his lover. And it just feels like making that a comedy anime is a choice. And by a choice, I mean one that I don't agree with. So that's the isekai I haven't watched. And the other ones I've watched because they're fun. And there are 2 shows this season that are what I like to call middle-aged dude is a nice guy series. There's I Parry Everything and the Osan Adventurer. He at least has come to terms with the fact that he's actually pretty strong, whereas the joke of I Parry Everything is that the main character cannot be convinced that he is an overpowered monster, which is, I still think, is a fun premise, and they handle it pretty well, I would say. Because also people exaggerate because they're convinced that he is doing things that are coming up because of luck and accidental and his own ignorance. He chalks up to the world, like people stepping up and helping him out, and they chalk it up to him being like subtle and like planning this all out and being like a strategic genius. And he's just a guy that got very good at doing one thing. Nathan says Failure Frame has some of the worst CG for seemingly no reason. Like the camera angle will change and there'll be CG for no reason. Yeah. So like, look, at this point, an action series, I am used to the fact that sometimes there will just be CG monsters, but Failure Frame, from the clips I have seen, because again, the manga, I was just like, fuck this shit, so I wasn't going to watch the anime. But from the what I have witnessed of clips of it, it seems to be that they're doing everything in CG, and then they are mimicking digital animation with some of the characters. And I can only assume that they were like, well, this is going to be very expensive, so we're going to do it all in CG and then try to trick you that it's not in CG. Where Tower of God was like, we're going to do everything in digital, and we're not going to use CG, and we're not going to try to make it look bad, but we do not have the money to make it as gorgeous as we did Tower of God Season 1, so we're just going to make it look kind of bad, and we're going to cut every corner we can, and we'll do a lot of darkening of scenes and cuts and reaction shots instead of what's happening. I have a friend that is a huge Tower of God fan, and he is constantly furious at this adaptation for various reasons, but mostly because of the seeming lack of care. Where the first Tower of God season was pretty fucking gorgeous. but I don't know. I don't know. I have not fully investigated it because I liked Tower of God, but I didn't love it enough to watch the second season. Um, but we will again. I got a whole stream dedicated to that coming up in 2 weeks, so we'll get into that, a little less than 2 weeks. We'll get into all of that when the time comes. But before that, we should talk about various terribleness. Okay, so in the games industry, I have news that is bad, bad, good, good, and bad and good. So I'm going to start with the good. There's one news story here that is like legitimately a good news story, and then we'll get into the other ones. But let's start positive. I think this is a positive story. Flappy Bird is coming back, y'all. The mobile hit from 2013 is relaunching on Android and iOS next year. And you're like, well, Pat, Don Gwyn pulled it because it got too popular and because he couldn't fucking handle it and because people wanted him to make it like good. And also there were accusations that he had just kind of stole the idea whole cloth from Keck. And so like, how is it back? Well, apparently the rights and trademark of Flappy Bird have moved to a group that have called themselves the Flappy Bird Foundation Group. And they have the rights and the trademark, and they are going to put out a new iteration featuring new characters and game modes. And it's also going to be coming out for, it'll be playable in a web browser, if you want to play in a web browser. And the thing that to me is the most interesting of all of that news is that Keck is on board. Keck, the maker of Pio Pio versus Cactus, which Flappy Bird is definitely ripping off, allegedly, but allegedly, but yeah, I mean, definitely, that's definitely how that game came to be. He's going to work on this version, and that's weird. And Keck put out a statement to IGN saying, "Today is a milestone, not just for in gaming, but for me personally. It's incredible to work alongside such a dedicated team of fans and creators who are truly passionate about changing the industry narrative and together bringing the original Flappy Bird back to life." The Android release. And I'd forgotten about this. It came out on Android in 2014. It was an iOS game that didn't really do much, and then it blew up on Android. And then 2 weeks later, Don Nguyen pulled it. And then at one point on the Apple Store, there were like 60 like people just started making their own and cloning it. And they did that within the 2 weeks, but certainly did it when it was gone, to the point where at one point there were 60 clones at one time that had all been uploaded. And then 2014, people were like trying to find like versions, and there were parody versions. And then there's a reference to Flappy Bird in Deep Rock Galactic. There's like a whole thing about it. So yeah, Flappy Bird's coming back. And like, Pat, is this actually good news? And I don't know, but it's the best I could do for a good bit of gaming news today, because I did want to have a bit of good gaming news if I could swing it. All right, so I think I've put these together right. We'll find out if I have or have not. I believe I've done this correctly as we start to build these arms. I will find out if I have or not. But it'll be easy enough to fix that shit if I got to fix that shit. I was going to say, I'm like, oh, cool, these don't have any stickers on them. They do. They just want to wait before you put the stickers on. Let's start working on the arms. Continue working on the arms as we move into good and bad news. because people being laid off is bad, for sure, right? It's always a bad thing. We're going to get into the very bad layoffs soon, but let's get into the um, uh, uh, bad news, but also, whoops, and let's see. Okay, gotten some bad stuff going on here. Coming back up, maybe. Coming back up, maybe. I'm reloading. Local recording will be fine. I'm reloading. Looks like we're back. Okay. Fun times. I'm going to press refresh in here in case people need to refresh. I have not had any issues like this in weeks and weeks. The only thing I can possibly think of is perhaps streaming the Prime football game. And my dad is currently streaming the football game on Amazon Prime. We did not run into issues last year, but before Saturday stream, I will go ahead and refresh everything. You never saw it just get really chunky. Yeah, so that's the idea. The idea is, because I have a setting in OBS where instead of dropping frames, the bit rate dips quite a bit. And of course, if you're watching this later on YouTube, you're not seeing that. You're just seeing me react to what's happening. But, okay, so the Midnight Society laid off an unspecified number of people last week. You may know that they are making the video game Dead Drop. You also may remember the name Midnight Society because that used to be one of the three founders used to be Dr. Disrespect. Guy Beam was released of his duties on the game, and they have since laid off some people here. It was the senior environment artist said he was one of many affected, and they've had a significant workforce reduction. But basically, they're like, we'll be sharing our revised plans and milestones in the future. So obviously, that is bad news, right? We don't like to see people get laid off. We don't like hearing about those kinds of layoffs. That's obviously terrible. And it's an NFT game. So while I don't want to see people losing their jobs, and I don't want to see people having to navigate in this industry, new work in this industry, they're working on an NFT game in 2024. So they're working on an NFT game in 2024 that up until recently, one of the founders of the studio was Dr. Disrespect. He's only been released very recently. So I can only feel so bad. And maybe that's awful of me. Maybe I should feel bad without any caveats, and I shouldn't be holding any sort of other feelings on that. And I should just be like, well, Pat, this sucks, but, you gotta also, like, think about it from the other perspectives and all that. Like, maybe I should be a better person about this. But I don't think I will. I think I won't be a bigger person about this and say, if you were like, I'm going to work on an NFT game, I can't wait to go work for Dr. Disrespect, that I don't have full and utter sympathy for you. I have some, but I cannot be fully sympathetic with your plight. And I guess we'll say that. Now, into the good news, except maybe it's not good news, but there also is news that, like, it is something where you're like, well, we should talk about it. Unity is canceling the runtime fee. A year later, after so much bad press, after a change in CEO, after numerous developers have left the platform and gone to other places and will not be coming back, after the trust has been completely destroyed, they are reverting back to their previous existing subscription model. And that's only good, sort of. Don't get me wrong. Going back on it makes perfect sense and is, in theory, very good. The problem comes in that by getting rid of the runtime fee, which, let's see, I don't remember exactly everything about the runtime fee. I apologize. They have a whole statement. I don't care about the statement. But basically, the runtime fee was like okay, well, if it's like you are owed money once it reaches, you owe them more money once it reaches a certain threshold with a certain number of people. And then it was like, and then for every download or installation, you owed them money. But the threshold for small developers was pretty high. So that extra cost coming in wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But mostly it was, honestly, it wasn't that like, oh, runtime's going to put me out of business. Larger developers certainly felt that. Smaller developers weren't really going to feel that kind of crush. They were more upset about the fact that their contracts were changing, and the terms of their contracts apparently didn't fucking matter to Unity, and Unity was making this change, and there was no opt-out, and it wasn't like, even, it was just like, oh no, we're doing this, and if you want to keep using this, you're gonna have to agree to it. Which is why people were like, actually, go fuck yourself. Now, why is this actually hurt small game developers? Because now they're going to be paying more. The folks that were like, well, I don't like this, but doing the math, the new runtime fee won't actually negatively affect us too much. Okay, we're just going to go with it. By reverting back to their old system, yay, but increasing the price for Unity Pro and Unity Enterprise, increasing the Unity Pro price is bad for small game developers, because now by sticking with them, they're going to be paying more. So to go for this, they had incredible bad luck, or bad press, I should say. Drove a bunch of people out. People quit their jobs. They had to lay people off because of all of the money they lost. They booted out John Riccitello, and then the Unity creative boss either left or was told to leave. We don't know, but he left. And so they had a bunch of people leave and reshuffled things. And now they're like, we're going back to the way it was. Except, of course, we have to charge you more money. Which is now going to, most likely, move even more people off of it. People will read this story and go, oh, okay, and not investigate any further, which is, I guess, probably what they want from a standpoint. But I do think this is now encouraging even more smaller devs who stuck around because it wasn't going to negatively affect their development, but weren't happy, are now, it's literally going to affect their bottom line and their development. So this was a, oh, cool, oh, wait, story. So my apologies for that. And they're like, oh, we're changing things and we're going to go back to our traditional style and all this other stuff. So now Unity Pro has an 8% subscription increase to $2,200 annual per seat. Unity Pro will be required for customers with more than $2,000 of total annual revenue and funding. So if you do pretty okay, you're going to have to pay them a bunch of money, more than you were originally. And that's bad. Now let's get into the bad news. We'll start with the one that is slightly silver lining because I think it's a fucking cool move, even though it's devastating for a lot of people. This broke like a couple hours ago. The entire staff of Annapurna Interactive, which is the video game people. Annapurna is a indie film studio and also a game development studio. Everybody at Annapurna on the on the interactive team, all of them quit today. All of them quit. Which I believe is like 12, like 14, 16 people, something to that effect. So apparently, you know, and of course, who would know this that wasn't connected to it, but I certainly didn't know about this. Apparently, the folks at Annapurna Interactive, we're trying to, okay, last week you say 20, you saw 25. The Bloomberg story said, okay, all right, so my apologies. I didn't read this. Gary and other executives resigned, were followed around 24 other staff. Okay, so 24, I read that as a dozen, 24 staffers, and then some other executives. So we're talking over 24, so at least 25 people, because we don't know exactly how many. The games division was apparently trying to spin itself off of the studio, the full thing, which is run by Megan Ellison, she is the granddaughter of billionaire Larry Ellison. Annapurna, the game division has published quite a few games of note, popular titles that people, genuinely and enjoy. Annapurna has become, as I look for a piece here, Annapurna had become a publisher that you just knew, like you could check, like, oh, Annapurna's publishing that? Like, yeah, all right. Like it became one of those studios where like or a publisher, I'd say, where you're like, oh, that's probably good. Like for a lot of people, Devolver is one of those studios where you're just like, oh, Devolver's got a new thing that they published. Okay, that's cool. So basically, it looks like Nathan Gary, and they were usually a good sign. Yes, right? They've been negotiating to spin off the video game division as an independent entity. And then Ellison today pulled out of negotiations, apparently just decided this is not something we're going to go forward with, and I'm not going to keep talking to y'all about this. And that meant that Nathan Gary, other executives resigned, and then everyone else resigned too. And then they put out a statement that they're just going to, hey, developers, don't worry, we're still going to be a publisher. And I don't know how they think that's going to go. Because here's my thing, right? Maybe they saw this coming and they know who to hire. And what they end up hiring is they would end up hiring another publisher for hire that would, like a third party that would handle all of this because they have games coming out soon. A few game developers who have publishing deals with Annapurna have kind of come out and made statements going like, hey, obviously this is not something that we're psyched about. And this is not a pleasant surprise, or this is an unpleasant surprise, but we're like gonna figure it out and we're gonna keep working on our games, because what else can you say? Yes, Lord Crash said it was solidarity. I posted this on Blue Sky, that I don't know for certain that Megan said, what are you gonna do, quit? And then everyone quit. I don't know that. But I do think that things must have been, this is me without any proof. This is me speculating. I am speculating here. These are speculation. Things must have been pretty fucking dire for them to go, Oh, well, we failed to buy it out, or we failed to break free of this. Well, we'll just keep working on it, and maybe we can come back to the table later. Like that. Instead, they hit the plan C, right? They were developing a Blade Runner game in-house as well. Oh, okay. So plan A is split the company out. Plan B is, and I have seemed to, okay, we'll hopefully come back here. My apologies, everybody. But I do think that I'm going to have to see what's going on here. Yeah, I'm going to have to refresh everything again because my bits have just dropped out of here. But we still should be okay. I'm going to reload the player, see if I come back. I did come back on my end. Yeah, everything should be good. Yes. Again, we're not disconnecting, which we would if I dropped a lot of frames. I'm just, the kbps goes from like 2,900, 3,000, which is where I want to be at, to like 0, and then it'll go up to like 900. So I will disconnect everything, and I'll reset everything for Saturday stream. And my apologies to everybody that this is currently happening. Anyway, look, plan A is sell it to us. Plan B is we'll stick around and we'll try again. Plan C is see you later. They skipped plan B. And again, this is my conjecture. I don't know. But generally, let's explore other options is usually plan B. And plan C is, okay, we're out. And they went to plan C. They skipped plan B. They were like, okay, well, negotiations have failed later. And that's wild. So I have no idea. And I'm sure we'll hear more. We'll hear more. Jason, the people that Jason Schreier spoke to, I'm sure will have more to say as it continues. I'm sure, I'm positive there will be more talk as time goes on, and we'll hear more about what the fuck happened there. But it's wild. Because like, it's one thing when there are layoffs, when there are massive layoffs, when the layoffs come, one of the first things that game developers are like, okay, well, there were layoffs at my publisher. I'll talk to my other contact, or I'll talk to my contact's boss and see what's going on. And in this instance, there's nobody. Like, you have to reach out to someone at Annapurna, indie movie developer, publisher. You got to talk to someone at Annapurna Studios. Of course, the spokesman for Annapurna said all existing games and projects will remain under Annapurna. And the new basically they named somebody that works there the new president because they don't have a president of it, who was one of the co-founders of. So this is the part where I'm like, ooh, they knew this shit could happen because Hector Sanchez was one of the founders of that division, left to go do other things, and they brought him back last month. And now he's been named the new president of the company, or that division. And he said that they're just going to hire more people, and they'll be continuing to support people as they go. And apparently the Hollywood Reporter was the first people to say, because it makes sense with the connections, that they were the first to report about people quitting, but it was just the executive, and they didn't know that all of the employees had also quit. All right, so I got to put stickers on here. Let's see. I need the one that looks like a smiley face but isn't a smiley face. Needs to go on that side, and the front side is this one. I'm being very okay. So that's this one here then. And then, wait, shit, that's wrong. Let's see if I can make this bigger and look to see what sticker it is, and then I can kind of figure that out. Because there should be 4 of them. Okay, it's red stickers. That narrows it down quite a bit. So it's one of these red stickers over here. Okay, and then it's the one that kind of looks like a sideways smiley face. These are small stickers because they're going on a shoulder. Okay, so that's going to go on the other side here. And that goes there. We're going to do a lot of color correcting because, as I said, this mobile suit only exists in a photo thing and also a magazine. And then this one goes over here. Okay, so this one here. This only exists in a magazine and like one video game. So kind of makes sense that there'd be some color correcting stickers to make it work. So yeah, wild from Annapurna. I don't have anyone that I know that currently works there. Or well, I don't have anyone I know that worked there as of yesterday. Right now, but I have plenty of people that have worked with them on projects. So it's wild. And then Microsoft laid off another 650 people. This is more of the merger stuff, which is, one of the many reasons why the merger was a bad idea is because a lot of jobs became redundant and now those jobs are gone and there were layoffs in the parts that didn't have layoffs before. Mostly corporate and supporting functions. So some support studios and then some like mid C-suite people, like our low C-suite people. Places where there are overlap. And that's a fucking bummer. It does seem like this is layoffs across Microsoft, not just Activision people. Which is not any kind of consolation, but it is at least somewhat comforting to some employees that it's not just newest in to them, which often happens in mergers, is like the company that quote unquote won doesn't see as many layoffs as the companies that, the newer ones, the ones that were acquired. So we're now up to about 2,500 people laid off since January. And of course, a few amount of people from Tango Gameworks, most of Tango Gameworks were rehired when Krafton bought the company. But this is not working out. Once again, Phil Spencer should not get a pass. As Kotaku rightly said, we need to stop giving Phil Spencer a pass on these things. The idea that Phil Spencer was the guest for PAX West was the keynote speaker at PAX West was such a goddamn bummer to read about, because it was one of those things, like, what the fuck? I understand. Ooh, big name in gaming. And so you just salivate at that, but also don't be PR for him for any kind of rehabilitation of that man. Fuck you. What the fuck? So yeah, lots of layoffs, some people quitting. I'm going to look at the game developer story because I was looking at the Bloomberg story. Let's see if there's any other news. Just Hector Sanchez. Just want to say about who is now the new president of Annapurna Interactive, had resigned in. He had left to work for Epic Games for a little while, but he helped start it in 2016 and then left, and then he came back last month, and he's the only Annapurna Interactive employee that didn't quit, which thus makes him the new president. Let's see. There are no indications if that will impact the internal game studio founded by the company in 2022. And also, we don't know. This is some good follow-up reporting because, as mentioned, they are working on a game. There is an internal studio. This is probably not them because that's development side. This is the publishing side where everybody left. And also, we don't know about 24-Bit Games, which is a sports studio in South Africa that was acquired to basically help as a thing that Annapurna had. They were like, well, one service we can offer in our contract is 24-Bit Games can be a support studio for your project if you're trying to get it done over the threshold or whatever. And so no idea if they are affected by this. Most likely they are not part of the same group because they were probably kept separate because you got to try to keep people on leashes. So yeah, there's my backup. We did have a little bit more information thanks to GameDeveloper.com, but that original story was from Bloomberg. Is there any other one? We did mention Krafton. So I will just say that Krafton, they are investing heavily in a video platform, a short form video platform called Spoon Labs. They have invested about $89 million, the equivalent of $89 million in a thing. They're trying to make it work. Okay, let's see. Sorry. There is a bunch of text here that I'm going to translate with my phone, or at least get a rough translation of what's going on here. And it says, the opposite. Push straight all the way in. Okay. I've got that. I figured it out. I hope things that work for Tango, not how it sure to feel about Krafton. Yeah, like the idea that they're going to make a sequel to the game they worked on, and then they have, they're not fully they're going to continue working for the same, the same bosses and all that with new bosses as well, obviously. It's interesting. I hope it all works out for them. It could end up being a different kind of huge goddamn nightmare. Oh no, what did we do? But hopefully it works out. Let's see. That's 2. And then we'll get 1 out here. Yeah, all right. Yeah, they invested in some kind of short form video thing for the Asian market. And they've been investing in some other stuff and trying to grow the business. So hopefully it will work out for them. It's very hot in this room. I apologize if I suddenly oh, what's going on here? Need some stuff here. Any other news we can talk about here? Thanks to Kotaku. Let's see. Tony Hawk is talking about video games, everybody. Tony Hawk's out there talking about gaming and video games. He did not say a lot, but he did talk a bit. Let's see where we got here. Tony Hawk said that he's working with the publisher, with Activision, on something that fans will appreciate. This was thank you, Mythical Kitchen, for this. He was doing an interview with Mythical Kitchen, and they were asking about the games, and that's just very funny. And he couldn't share any details, but something's in the works. And I don't think Tony Hawk was supposed to say that. I'm going to go ahead and guess that Activision would have preferred Tony Hawk didn't say they're working on something, but Tony Hawk said they're working on something. And hopefully that's a video game. Here's the quote from Tony Hawk. I wish I could tell you more, but I can tell you that I've been talking to Activision again, and which is insanely exciting. We're working on something. That is the first time I've said that publicly. Now, the part where he says I've been talking to Activision again makes me a little concerned that maybe they haven't done anything yet, which would, that wouldn't be great. But who knows? Maybe they are far ahead with plans and everything's working out and it's going to be real good. Everyone's going to be real psyched about whatever the fuck's going on with Mr. Hawk. Who knows? Don't give me hope. Mind-boggling that 1 and 2 didn't automatically roll into a follow-up. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the only thing I can think of, Rekka, is I don't know if they sold well enough for Activision, And that might not even be, they didn't sell well. It might just be it didn't sell well as they were hoping, and so it didn't immediately greenlight a 3 and 4, which would, let's be honest, sell less. 3 and 4 would sell less than 1 and 2. So if 1 and 2 didn't set the world on fire, then 3 and 4 aren't, in their minds, then this is a done deal. And as Lord Crashington says, that team that was working on 1 and 2 went to go get work on the Diablo 2 remaster. They went to join that crew to get that done and out the door. So they have to then build a whole new crew for it, which of course they will if they want to, and it sounds like they're doing something. My guess is they're, as you say, my guess is they're probably going to do something for Tony Hawk Underground and not do 3 and 4. Also, in that interview, this is just included because it was funny. A bunch of those things. A bunch of those Tony Hawk stories where Tony Hawk is being Tony Hawk, and people are like, "You look like Tony Hawk," and he has to be like, "Okay." A new twist on that is that apparently in Vegas, a woman approached him and said, "My son thinks you're named after the video game." And Tony said that works for me. Which is, I don't know how old that person's son was, but I do think that's very funny. We'll be like, "Oh, that's Tony Hawk. Somebody got named after the Tony Hawk video games?" No, that's not how it works. But also, that's kind of funny if you think that's how it worked. I don't hate that. But yeah. I think they should probably remaster more Tony Hawk games of some sort because there's definitely a market for it and people would definitely be down for it. And I think Microsoft would... See, here's the thing, right? It's not just Activision anymore, right? It's Activision at Microsoft. And I think Microsoft probably would like a Tony Hawk game. Maybe they don't. Maybe I'm wrong. But I would think they probably would want one. Again, I ain't no mind reader. I can only make some assumptions and assertions. Okay, so put it like that. Oh, no. We got to do this first. We want to put this piece in the back. And then this goes like that. On that side like that. Then this goes like that. And we got an arm done. Another arm. We've gotten 2 arms done on the stream so far. Although I do need a hand. And we're using the hands that can hold things because we do have weapons. So we should use the hands that hold things instead of the hands that don't hold anything. The open palms. Downhill Jam 2. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's probably a market for some fun skating games. I know that Skatebird did pretty all right, and there's another skate, and there's been a few. I mean, Ollie, but there've been a few other indie. Sorry, there we go. Sorry, I had to scratch myself. There've been a few other indie skateboarding games that have seemed to do pretty well. Skatebird is, a cute one. All right, I'm going to panel line this after the pause for the cause. We're gonna do some stickers and some panel lining on this arm after we're done talking about ways you can support the channel and doing all that. My pause for the cause. I'll put the gun in first. There we go. Now we got a gun on the arm. Now is the part of the stream where for like 5 minutes, okay? I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support the channel. Everything I'm about to tell you here is optional. You don't have to do any of these things. We will continue to work on a model kit. The model kit we're working on here. I will talk about manga that I'm reading and an anime that I'm watching. But first, I'm just going to talk to you about ways you can support the channel, and all of these are optional. You don't have to do any of these things, but if you'd like to, that'd be great. If you are currently a subscriber to the Baer Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through cash money, through your Prime Gaming token, if you want to do that. If you are a subscriber, feel free to throw those emotes in the chat. Let the people know this is the place to be. You don't see ads during the stream. You don't see pre-roll ads. It's nice. You get some cool emotes, and you're helping me continue to do this thing, which I really enjoy doing, and I would like to continue to do. We are currently at 27 subscribers out of 40. The goal is to get to 40. I shut up at 40. I should also say that you can gift a sub. You can gift a sub to somebody in the community. Bits and coins, always appreciated. That helps me out as well. And it's September. So if you would like to become a subscriber for the first time, you can save money. 25% off your new sub. A reminder, don't use the Twitch app because they're just going to charge you more money. They pass the expenses on to you. They don't eat that cost anymore. Or Apple doesn't eat the cost for them either way. So go to a website and do it through there. Also, if you want to give me some bits, 300 bits or more, I'll get some extra bits on Twitch, which is fun. Let me hit the little September thing here. 25% off 1 month sub or 3 month sub, and then 30% off 6 months if you want to do 6 months ahead. 10% on top of every 300 plus cheer. And at the end of the month, there'll be some gift sub things. And this cheer is only till the 17th. So for the next few days, if you want to cheer, you could do that until during my Tuesday stream next week. Now, is Twitch the only way you can financially support me if you're so inclined? No. But it's probably the easiest because you're already here on Twitch. So I always start with that. But I also have a Patreon, at patreon.com/PatBaer. Over on my Patreon, there are tiers. There's the $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers, and I would recommend you consider joining me on Patreon. The $3 patrons decided that, the $3, $5, and $10 patrons decided this past Tuesday that I would do a tier maker list, which I had a really good time filling out some tier maker lists and ranking some things. That was fun. Did that on Tuesday. And there, before anybody else, are going to get my schedule for the rest of the month. They're going to get that on Sunday before other people see the schedule for the second half of September. So consider jumping on the old Patreon if you'd like to. I have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/PatBaer. Over on YouTube, there is subscription, which is free, of course. Consider subscribing to my Patreon for all of my video content over there. Sorry, not Patreon, my YouTube. And then also on my YouTube, there's a membership. And for just $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So the video that I put up yesterday about that time I got reincarnated as a slime, one of my favorite isekai of all time. Well, that video, people were able to see that on Tuesday that helped me out on that. So that's just like a little thing. Again, you don't have to think about it too hard. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. I'm not making you. Those are all monthly ways to support me. If you would like to help me out on occasion, you could do that through some direct donations to my Ko-Fi or to my PayPal. And everything I make through direct donations, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And from that fund, I buy model kits to build, like this kit, the full armor 7th Gundam. I was able to pick that up because of your generosity. Past you is helping out present me. The kit I built before that, the Zaku 3, came off my Amazon wish list. And it jumped the queue. I didn't, it wasn't part of my backlog. It was just the next thing that I was going to build. Sorry, I just want to check one thing. Oh, okay. That's not doing great, but that time I got reincarnated as a slime video is doing okay out there. It's not doing excellent, but it's doing okay. Kuma Baer took turned around. So that one could as well. Who knows? Anyway, I did say that. So the kit I built before this one was purchased off my Amazon wish list. And I had a dedicated video on YouTube that I made about that. And then also it jumped the queue, became the next thing that I built. If you would like to buy something off my Amazon wish list to have me build on stream, you could do that. Here's the link in the chat. And it's also in the show description of this YouTube video when it goes out to my VOD channel. And it's also there in the archive here if you're watching a Twitch VOD. I have inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits that never go on sale, kits that are on sale all the time. Real fun Lego, real weird stuff. Ooh, that's fun to see. That the Lego Zoe's cat motorcycle bike, which does transform, is at $20 right now. That's a good price. It's a good price. But yeah, I got Lego kits, I got model kits, I got inexpensive kits, I got expensive kits, I got Lego knockoff, all kinds of different things, and then some gear at the bottom, because it's always nice to have gear. If you're like, well, Pat, I don't know what to pick up, I can buy you another stand for your model kits. Something like that. Or I'll get you an iFixit kit. So you get some good tools. Better tools than you currently have. Those are ways to support me by buying something. Again, jumps the queue, becomes the next thing I build, and I make a dedicated video about the thing you purchased, a mailbag video, is what I call them. My alternative to Amazon is Throne. I have a Throne wish list. It's not as plentiful as my Amazon, but some people just don't want to use Amazon, and I fucking get it. So consider hopping in over to Throne. And then also, I do have the most convoluted way to support me. This is just the ridiculous way to support me, is to go to USA Gundam Store. At USA Gundam Store, you can buy a gift card. Then you'll get in your email a gift card code, and you can send that gift card code to me in a whisper on Twitch, or a DM on Twitter, or Blue Sky, or Mastodon. You could, I guess, send it as an ask in co-host, but co-host is going read only on October 1st, so maybe don't do that and go through Mastodon or Blue Sky or Twitter or Whispers here on Twitch, if you want. Again, you don't have to do any of those things, but if you want to, that'd be cool. If you want to support me without spending any money, you can join my Discord. My Discord is full of kind folks. It's a nice little place to be. You're welcome to go hang out there. I will have a new episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club up on Monday. The current episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club is me talking about some of the worst filler in anime. We're talking filler episodes and filler arcs. Just some real scummy shit from like reprehensible characters who somehow became reoccurring characters, all the way to a series of episodes that completely retcons the origin of our main characters and then tries to undo what it did. Ugh, reprehensible. My next one's going to be more positive, because I decided I should do a positive one. And then Kuma Baer. Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series. The month of September is all about isekai, some of my favorite isekai. Oh, I dropped some frames again. So, or not frames, dropped some bits here. Let's see, let's wait for it to come back. It looks like it's coming back. Is it coming back? We'll see. Lord Crashington, I know. I'm gonna know before you know, actually. So it's okay. But yeah, all right. Well, hopefully we'll bounce back here. There is legitimately nothing I can do without taking the stream down and going into another room, and I'm not gonna do that. So we just sometimes things don't look great here on the stream. Kuma Baer right now is me talking about that time I got reincarnated as a slime, which is one of my favorite isekai because it is a postmodern isekai where it was like, okay, well, instead of it being a teen boy, what if it's an adult man, but now he's a slime? And sometimes it'll be a slice of life, and sometimes it's an action series. And sometimes it's like a little dark, and we'll have just like every other isekai trope possible. And eventually we'll even introduce the guy who should be the main character of his own isekai, which they did this season, who is a guy who should probably have his own story, but is not. He's not the main character. Rimmer is the main character. It's a fun series. Watch my 1 minute video about why you should watch that. All right, so I've got a manga that I want to talk to you about, and then we'll get into an anime that I have been watching, an important episode in anime that may be, I'm going to tell you right now, mildly fucking furious. But not really, but also yes. Let's see. So we're going to talk about a manga, and then we'll talk about an anime. But before we get into the anime, I am going to dramatically transition to the overhead camera, and we'll get back to working on this. We'll do some panel lining, we'll do some stickers, and I will drink some water right now. I'm going to drink just a tiny bit more. Okay. Let's talk about this manga. Manga that I have been reading, Getting Thrown Out, is going better than expected. If you are familiar with this manga, then you will know, Pat, this is now like the 4th or 5th. I think it might be the 4th, and I have like 1 or 2 more. This is like the 4th alpha manga that you have talked about. And that's true. I got a deal on some goddamn tickets for Alpha Manga, and I do not recommend it. 1, because Alpha Manga is not great at translation, honestly. And 2, their system sucks. Now, if you are up to date with it, and then you can pay attention and read all the free chapters for free, I think Alpha Manga eventually works out fine. But it is scummy, and I don't recommend Alpha Manga at all. But I am reading a lot of their manga because I got a deal through someone to get a bunch of tickets for free. So I am taking advantage of that and reading a bunch of series that I'm interested in, including Getting Thrown Out is going better than expected. That's right, it's a banished story. It is from the popular subgenre of being kicked out of your house or clan or hero's party or noble house, country, position, whatever it is. The very popular subgenre that sometimes are also about an isekai character, but aren't always about an isekai character. In this case, our main character, Alec, does not seem to be at all a reincarnation or isekai. He's a little boy with purple eyes and purple hair, which is incredible and and unique. And his parents fucking hate it. Oh, his parents goddamn hate it. They cannot fucking believe that their youngest son looks so weird. They're from a family of heroes, the founding heroes of this country. Now, later we find out that our boy Alec, him having blue hair and purple hair and purple eyes, means that he is legitimately a descendant of the hero who had the same thing. But this family doesn't seem to know that shit. So eventually they're like, okay, you're 12, get the fuck out of here. Now there are several issues to that. One being, he's very strong and capable and powerful. And he has not shown any of that because they have not shown him any respect. So he hasn't shown off. And two, his older brother and sister, who are not there for the banishment, love him. He's a sweetheart. Now, are they a little creepy? They're a little creepy. That's played for laughs. But their younger brother, his older brother, his one brother who's really like the parents, he sucks. And he was really shitty, and he's always been jealous of his older siblings, the twins. So they never liked him. And then when their other brother was born, they were like, fuck. Younger brothers are awful. Little kids suck. But he was really nice. And he's always been sweet. And he was always kind, even when his family was being awful to him. And so they leave. They're like, well, we're not part of this family anymore. We're out of here. Also, the youngest boy was supposed to get married to the third princess of the country. And they're like, well, our son that is cool will just marry them. And like, that's not going to happen. Like, nobody thinks nobody thinks your other son is cool. So you're like, okay, all right, Pat, well, he's going to like meet up with a bunch of like adventurers, or he'll meet with a mythic beast or something like that. And that is true. But the part of this story is that almost immediately he meets two girls who are on a school trip, basically, to like defeat monsters, and he defeats the monsters, and they're like, hell yeah. Do you want to come back to our school? We're part of an academy, an elite academy. And our guy is just like, yes. I'm going to change my last name. And I'm going to change my hair color and my eye color. And I'm going to try to blend in. And that does not work because he is so powerful and strong that people are like, no, there's something really weird and wild about you. Also, his older brother and sister, who are like S-ranked adventurers, they try to take him back, and that doesn't work out. So the compromise is they also start attending the school, which is a weird choice, but works out pretty okay. I will say, they eventually introduce a mythical beast that doesn't do anything, and that's a bummer. There is a spirit that he befriends, and spirits never really show themselves, and we don't really see the spirit that often, and that's a shame as well, because she's fun too. Again, it's not an isekai. It might as well be. Alpha Manga kind of specializes in isekai and the like, but they do some series that are not. If I found out, like, if the next chapter they were like, oh, and also your soul is from another world, like, I would totally believe that, because it does have some of the trappings of that. Oh yeah, he's got a destiny. He's really special, and a bunch of people are going to want to take advantage of him and or kill him, and then they're going to have a really hard time doing that because he's very fucking strong and cool. But also a sweetheart, and that's nice. It's nice that he's nice. You know what I mean? I got to put stickers on here now. So that is getting thrown out is going better than expected. It is, again, is part of the kicked subgenre. Nathan says, I'm going to go walk the dogs, but I can't wait till Monday's stream. Okay, yeah. Monday we'll talk about Uh, the well, Monday we'll talk about Nokutan and various other things and working on model kits and all that. But yeah, go walk your dogs. Thanks for being here, Nathan. Things will continue as they always do around here. Let me get this sticker on right. What sticker needs to go on places? This is on backwards. Sorry, hold on. Nope, that's right. Okay. Now let's talk about an anime. Let's talk about Oshinoko Season 2. Now, last week they took a week off, which is fine, except that there was a big cliffhanger where our main character, Aqua, basically talked to Taiki and was like, "Hey, I had some DNA testing done. We have the same father. Tell me about our dad." And then that was the end of episode 9. And it was like, what the fuck? What do we do? What? And then they took a week off. Now, if you remember, this is a series about both Ruby and Aqua, and they don't know this about each other, although I think Ruby knows about Aqua, kind of, sort of. Ruby and Aqua both died, and they were reincarnated in this form as children of a very popular idol named Ai, who then later was killed. And the person that killed Aqua in his doctor form was the same person that killed Aqua and Ruby's mom. And Aqua believes that his father is probably the person that he didn't kill them, but his father leaked information to the stalker that attacked Ai the first time, which led to Aqua's death, and then Ai the second time, which led to Ai's death. And so he's been trying to use his connections to figure out the reason why he's in the entertainment industry and why he encouraged his sister to become an idol was to not only protect Ruby, but to uncover the secrets and to figure out who set this all in motion, who is my dad. And so now this is the strongest lead that he's ever had, other than kind of confirming, I think my dad was in the entertainment industry. So he confronts Taiki. They probably have the same father, and so they're all half siblings. They are both of Taiki's parents are dead. Saijiro Urahara was his dad, and is probably Aqua's dad and Ruby's dad. And they're both gone. And we learn more about Taiki and how he hated his dad so much that he used his mother's family name as a stage name, which is how, which if he had used his father's name, maybe Aqua would have learned more about this sooner. But if that's his dad, and Aqua is still convinced that his dad was the one behind this, that set all this in motion, that means that Aqua's revenge can't continue. And when I said I was pissed off with this episode, that's what I'm talking about here, because the murder investigation is the part of this series that I like the most. The young people trying to make it in the entertainment industry part is good, don't get me wrong, but the like full-grown adult in a teen's body solving the murder of the first idol he ever was interested in, who was also his patient, because his other patient, who is now his sister, was a big idol fan. It's all good shit that I like less, because it's so fleeting. And it looks like we have hit an impasse in this investigation. Now, on a human level, Aqua returns home. And he kind of reflects on this. He reflects on all of this. Like, well, what do I do? Like, do I deserve to be happy? Is it, like he's internally been, when he was like doing well in the stage play, he was fighting his own internal logic of this idea of like, this is a means to an end. Don't get comfortable. Like, what, do you think you're going to become an actor and like marry your childhood sweetheart and like everything will be okay and you can just live like without seeking revenge and fulfilling your revenge? And now it seems like that revenge has been taken away from him. So what does he do with that? And that's interesting. Meanwhile, there's a whole idol group that exists. Beat Kamachi is an idol group with Ruby and other people that has Kana that has taken a break because of the stage play, which was most of this season. So Memcho and Kana and Ruby are discussing the YouTube channel, and they've got like almost 20,000 subscribers, and that's like going to open up more opportunities for them, and it's going to increase things and kind of help grow the brand. So now they need to think about like what they need to do next and how to celebrate that. And so Memcho's like, I would like to film room tours. That's some good content. That'll bring in some fans. That'll boost engagement, that kind of thing. Kana starts doing it. And of course, Kana has a lot of money from acting, which apparently she spends on things that she doesn't care about. So we see that. But she's like, I'm not bad with money. I just don't use the things that I buy. Does seem bad. And Ruby is like, I guess I should take down all these posters of Mom, because she has a bunch of posters of I. Because remember that Ruby is her previous life a super fan, and then she became I's daughter. So she's like, well, I guess I should probably take all these posters down because I don't want people to see that when the room tour happens. And apparently Ruby's dream, which we kind of knew, is Ruby really wants to fulfill I's dreams, which I's dreams got kind of sidetracked by a lot of stuff, including the birth of Ruby. And then they're going to talk about working on a music video. Kana has some more Tokyo Blade performances scheduled, so that's been a thing that's been dealing with it, and they're going to try to work around Kana. And then we get this other thing, which is going to be, I think, what's happening for the next few episodes, is there was somebody that used to make songs for I's group named Himura, and they want Himura to help work on a song for them. And he's trying to work on a song, but he's got some stumbles and he's got some issues. But by the end of the episode, we know that the stage play has ended. So I guess apparently some of this stuff was happening while the stage play productions were happening. It seems like. And apparently Ruby singing and kind of emulating I makes Himura like have inspiration to finish this song, which again we'll learn more about in the next couple episodes. But yes, that brief glimmer of, oh shit, we're moving on. We're going to find out who this dad is. We're going to figure this shit out. There'll be a confrontation that will end season 2. We don't get that because that guy is dead. And that's probably his dad. But maybe it isn't his dad, but it's probably his dad. But maybe it isn't his dad, but it's probably his dad. Yeah, so it looks like we're going to be going to dealing with the music, which, you know, that is the reason why Oshi no Ko became popular, was it was like good idol performances and struggling idol performances, animated very well. And then also in the background, there's like a guy trying to figure out who killed his mom or why his mom died and who facilitated that, who set up his mother, which people were interested as well. Yeah. Like Taiki is interesting. It's cool to learn more about him. I saw some people talking about this episode, and they were happy that I seems like relaxed. Like that was a big element of this episode, was the even though his revenge has fallen through, he maybe is like kind of settling in to the reality of this. Like now this is like post revenge. And now he at least knows something, but I don't buy it. And also I'm not thrilled with it. Again, I think this is a fine season. Was it my favorite season? No, but I thought it was pretty solid. And that's Oshinoko, season 2, episode 10. We are close to the end of this particular series. I have now also finished the feet on this kit. We finished the feet here. Now we're going to start working on the legs. It looks like we can do almost all of the legs at the same time, except for the outer armor. But a bunch of this we can do at the same time here. Also, I have not figured out why when I put a white piece of paper on underneath my camera, everything gets dark. Why the auto balance is doing that, or the white balance is doing that. I am trying to figure that out. My apologies. My only recompense is I'm just keeping the instructions off of this as much as I can, because it does get weirdly dark, and I'm not into that. Oddly enough, I don't like it when it gets weirdly dark. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you. Hey, chat. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? I love hearing from you about that stuff. So let me know. Throw it in there in the chat and let me know what you got going on video game wise, movies, music. So Lashbrook, I theoretically have locked the white balance. I have set the white balance and locked it. But for whatever reason, when I put white paper over it, it auto does it and makes it very dark. And I don't know why, because I've checked the settings. I have to like go in. There's like a couple YouTube videos of people that have this exact camera. And I just have to find the time to really like investigate why this is happening. I don't have a good answer for that, but I have tried to investigate it. I'm still working on it because theoretically, or not theoretically, I have locked it. It's not, because I also locked autofocus because I don't want that. I want it set focused, which it is. And then it does a little bit of auto when I zoom. It does like a zoom focus, which is good. You want that. But yeah, I haven't been able to figure out why it's doing this bullshit. But it is doing this bullshit. So yeah, I want to hear from you. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? I will let you know. Your friend Pat. We did have the stream on Tuesday for Tier Maker Tuesday. That was really fun. I ranked things like pizza toppings. I did the Deadlock Heroes by vibes only because I have not watched that game or played that game at all. So it was a vibes only. Like this is what I think of these characters, and this is what I think of this character. Ranked a bunch of different things. You should check that out. I think it turned out good. The controllers was pretty divisive. A bunch of stuff was pretty divisive. One of them in there is silly. It was very silly on purpose because it's nice to throw a silly one in there. And the ones I didn't get to, I did record, or I did save that in a Word document so that I can go back at some point if I want to do it again, which I think I probably do want to do that again because the stream was fun. Other than that, what I've been up to, friends and I are taking a break on Helldivers 2. We're waiting for this update when they're going to supposedly make the shotguns good again. So we're taking a Helldivers 2 break. And I haven't played anything with that multiplayer crew in a bit. People are just kind of going back to whatever they're going back to. I have been playing a little bit more. I don't know why. I reinstalled Hitman 3, and I've been playing more Hitman 3. And of course, the World Assassination is fucking rad. And I enjoy my time in World Assassination. So I've been doing that still and having a good time with that. All right, so we put that on there. And then I need to put this polycap in there. And then I can lock this up. So I've been doing that. And then I'm grabbing mods. I don't know when I'm going to be playing it, but I've been grabbing mods to try to make that work for TMNT Shredder's Revenge, because I got that game for free, and then at some point I'm going to do a stream probably next month, either for Patreon's choice if it gets that, or just on the 4th or 5th Tuesday of October. I will probably do a Patreon's, so I'll probably do a TMNT Shredder's Revenge with mods stream. I have not narrowed that down, but that's the plan anyway, is to do that. And then Hearthstone. I talked about it earlier. I'm going to be streaming next Tuesday. The mini set came out, and that added some new cards, and I have a couple decks that are very fun. I have a big... I have a standard deck that is big spell mage. It has like a small amount of big spells, and then because there's a card that lets you play some rogue cards, there are some rogue cards that really help that deck do a bunch of nonsense, and so it's very fun. It's a very fun deck. And there are a few new cards here and there. I also need to make a rogue deck because they added a new card that I really want to play Burgle Rogue with some of the new cards that came in. I want to make stuff from a different class, throw it all in there, and really fuck around with it. Because now I think I can make a rogue class, or I can make a rogue deck that can also become a warlock deck. And I'm like, that sounds fun and terrible. So I got to build that. I might do that tomorrow during Jeff Gersman's stream. I might have Hearthstone and start doing some theory crafting on a deck there. Again, I don't know for sure if I'm going to do that, but I might do that because I think it'll be fun. But yeah, I'm having a right time with Hearthstone. I wasn't having a lot of fun for the first half of this new cards, but currently I'm having a good time with some of the cards that I'm playing. I wouldn't mind getting back in there and streaming a little bit with y'all some Hearthstone next Tuesday. I think that'll be fun. What have you been saying here in the chat? Let's look at what y'all have been writing. Lord Crasher says, I got Little Guardsman on PS5 while it's on sale, and it's very good so far. It's a bit of Papers, Please with some comedic writing and some good time travel mixed in. Ooh, Little Guardsman, that sounds fun. I'll have to check out a stream of that, but that sounds neat. I hope you keep enjoying it. Lord Crashington. Aristovan says, I rolled credits on Astrobot. Delightful game. I'm working on remaining bots and the platinum. Hell yeah. Gersman streamed that yesterday. I've watched him play it. I watched Alex Navarro play it. That has been fun. A VTuber that I like, who is a robot as a VTuber, has been playing Astrobot and RPing that they are Astrobot, and that is very silly in a way that I was super into. It was a fun idea. But yeah, that game is cool as hell. Lashberg says, I watched the Apple TV Plus series Presumed Innocent, which is about a prosecutor accused of having killed his coworker, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. The ending was kind of wild in a way I'm not sure works. Other than that, I've been playing a fun game called Figure Out How to Fix My Damn Windows Install. Hey folks, heads up, things are going to get weird. You'll know that by now. Looks like things are going to get bad, and then they might get good again. We're so close to the end of the stream, but we'll press on here. Looks like things are coming back up. Yes, things got bad, and they look like they're getting better. And again, there's nothing I can do about that. I just will refresh everything. I mean, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll reset everything tomorrow because I don't want to do it now because I'm streaming right now. But I'll do it all tomorrow because I do have to watch some things on stream anyway myself. I hope good luck to you, Lashbrook, on fixing that Windows install. That's never fun, and I hope you figure that shit out because that can be a real nightmare. I'm still on Windows 10. I never upgraded to 11. I need to. I just haven't. Like now, none of the. There's one thing that I do that will still get fucked up by Windows 11, and I can fix it. But for a long time there, I had some legacy programs that Windows 11 wasn't going to like, and so I held off. Now I don't have that excuse anymore, other than one thing, but there is a workaround for it. I do need to eventually get into that shit. I have not yet. I will at some point upgrade. I did have a weird thing today where Windows decided that my taskbar, it decided that I only wanted my taskbar on one monitor. I have 3 monitors, gang, and I want my taskbar on all 3 because I want to be looking at one monitor and know what, because basically what it was doing was one monitor was telling me what all of my tasks on the taskbar that were open are. And then on the other 2 monitors, I didn't have the start button or the search button or the other things. I just had whatever was open on that window. So my Discord and OBS window only told me I had Discord and OBS. And I was like, no, this can't happen. This can't work. So I had to go in there, turn that to off, and then set it to the setting that it was originally on. And I don't know why it did that. I don't know why it thought it was doing something. I don't know. I don't know what happened. It was fucking weird, and I'm glad that I fixed it. And now I'm like, do I have to run scan disk? Do I have to is this my computer telling me, hey Pat, you fucking need to upgrade? I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on there. I will tell you that I'm going to clean my computer tomorrow. That's what I'm going to do. I have not cleaned my computer since the end of July. I didn't do an August cleaning of my computer, I realize now. And that is long overdue. So it's time to actually do the ding-dang thing. In this case, that is clean the computer. So I will do that. Dirty says, I played some Star Trucker and Space Marine 2 this week. Played Caravan Sandwich today. And will move into Lollipop Chainsaw Repop once I finish. This is a packed month for games I'm interested in. Hell yeah, Dirty. Also, hi, Dirty. I forgot that Lollipop Chainsaw remake was coming out. Well, have fun. Caravan Sandwich is a game that I am going to copy and paste so that I can look up at my leisure, because that is a game title that I have not heard of. And I will investigate that. I'm going to drink a little water here. Excuse me. Caravan Sandwich. Again, I don't know anything about that, but the name sounds cool, so I'll look that up. Lastbury says, I did also get to play some of Marvel vs. Capcom Collection today. Been going through the games and seeing all the secret characters for the first time. Nice. Hell yeah. Well, have fun. That's cool. I'm looking forward to October when I'm going to play some games. I could start playing Garden by the Sea, I should say. Garden by the Sea, which we'll play October 1st on stream. I have that game now because it is out. The VR version was out. So they just sent me the playtest version, quote unquote, which is just the full game. The intro music for Caravan Jump sets the vibe. Sandwich sets the vibe from the jump. Nice. That's cool to hear. Yeah, no, let me see here. We want to do this. Wants to go this way. Got to make sure I'm doing this right. This is the knee, so the knee has to be right. The Tony Knees. That has to be right. Okay. Yeah, all right. So we got that right. Okay. And then do the same thing with the other piece, making sure that I'm doing this correctly. What was I going to say? Yeah. So I do have Garden by the Sea, and I can check that out, and I am thinking about doing that. I've also been thinking about, there haven't been any major updates, but I'm keeping my eye on it. Like, I don't know, Mars First Logistics. I'm still thinking about that game every now and again, and I might just like, I don't have it downloaded right now. I took that off Steam because my hard drive is getting a little full. Unfortunately, my hard drive is fucking filling up a little bit, which I'm not psyched about. So I got rid of like a bunch of games and stuff. It's mostly that just WWE 2K24 is just a huge goddamn thing. It's way too big of a video game. I don't know. Eventually, I'll have to buy a new hard drive and transfer everything over. Getting big and bulky right now. But I moved a bunch of stuff off of my main drive to other things. And I should probably just put... I have an SSD that has a lot of storage on it. Storage items on it. And I should just make that... I guess I should just have that be the drive that all my games are on. I should just do that, I guess. But then I have to move a bunch of stuff off that onto another older drive that is bigger, way bigger drive. The data storage drive I have that is an SSD is the SSD from my previous computer that just became a backup. And that one's storage drive is now this one, which like sometimes takes a second to come to life, and I'm like, uh-oh, are you gonna be working for me? Every once in a while, it doesn't give me an error, but it gives me a moment where I'm like, so do you still work? And the answer is yes, it still works, but it does on occasion make me nervous because I got a lot of stuff there. That's the drive that has all of my video projects. I did that. I don't know did I talk about doing that? I probably did. That was last weekend. I realized some of my weekly video projects I don't have archived anywhere. I had this year's and I had last year's all archived, but it looks like background and characters didn't make a move between computers. So I was like, ooh, I don't have that. I would like to have those. So I just went through and downloaded everything at high quality and then threw it on a external hard drive. Well, not external. It's an internal drive, but a storage drive. I just threw that in the storage drive. So now I have it all together, which is good. And also, like a while ago, I downloaded all of the League of Heels shows, and I have all of the improvised postmortems. I have all of those together. And then I also have 404 Against I've had, because I always save the 404 Against before uploading it, because I have to snip out parts every now and again, and sometimes consistently, and then sometimes they'll just, YouTube would just be like, hey, no one can watch any of this video. And I'd be like, oh, well, fuck, all right. Because I showed the, Detective Pikachu video game trailer, and so they were like, no one ever can watch this video. It's like, all right, let me go into my edit, take out that whole section, and then re-upload it. Great, thanks. But every once in a while, like, hey, a claim has been made on this video from 2018. And I'll be like, yeah, all right, I don't care. Sure. No one's watching that anymore. You can claim it. Feel free. But yeah, so a while ago, I went and got all of those. And not all of my 404 ingots, but some of my 404 ingots are on the... somebody has archived. Numerous people have archived those. So some of those are on the the old archive.org, which is very nice. I didn't do any of that. I have not done that work. These are other people who have ripped my YouTube videos and put them there, which is probably a smart idea. And I probably should have done, and I should have uploaded like the original versions to that, and then later had my YouTube versions and whatnot. But one PAX East, I had to re-upload like 4 times. Really sucked. But I don't make any money on those because there's no fucking way I could make money on those videos. So it never really bothered me. Lord Crashton wrote, I did finish the first season of Prison Break. That's right, you're watching Prison Break. Where they surprisingly break out of prison. I'm enjoying season 2 so far as Bill Finchner gets to spread his wings as the FBI agent trying to catch all the escapees. Yeah. I stopped watching Prison Break before they broke out of prison. I was watching that show and I was just like, I don't know if I actually really dig this particular program. And so I eventually stopped watching it. But I hope it's great. I hope you're having a good time with it. The next step in this kit is putting a bunch of stickers on, like 4 stickers, it looks like. And I don't, or 3 stickers, I think. And I don't want to do that right now because it's the end of the stream and because we've had weird blips and bloops here on this one. So once I get this piece on, we are going to call it. It's about that time anyway. I had an issue a while ago with one video where I captured some cool behind-the-scenes videos from a remaster collection of a Sony game that another YouTuber claimed belonged to them, and I had to delete it or else get a strike. Yeah, that shit sucks when it's like, you don't own this either. Like, it's one thing if Sony's like, hey, but this is just another YouTuber that is claiming that. And like, are they actually claiming it, or is it that they uploaded it and they monetized it and they shouldn't have monetized it, and because you also uploaded it, they have precedent because they were first? And it's just like, fucking hell. What are we doing here? Yes, they do want that, Lord Crashington, which, hey, unfortunately, YouTube does have my personal info because they, on occasion, give me money. So they own AdSense. So they own the thing that pays me money a couple times. So they do have my information. So I have fought. There was somebody put up a weird edit of a 404ing it, like making fun of me. And I was like, oh, this is going to get taken down. Like I'm going to get this taken down because I have one uploaded that's me, and it is me. And so I had to go through this whole process and do all that, and they were fighting it and all this other stuff. And I was like, no, this doesn't get to this doesn't get to exist. So eventually I did get that taken down, which was good. Because, like, get the fuck out of here. All right, we have done some progress here. We got the arms done. We got dark on this for some reason. We got some of the legs done, the feet done, and of course the gun and the shield are there. So we got some progress done on this kit. Oh yes, Lord Crashing. That person will get some of your own personal info depending on how you do it. You can go through some other people where they will not receive that personal info though. But yeah, this is going to be the end of the stream. We are going to go raid. That is how we end every stream around here. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I'm going to figure out who we're going to go raid, and then we'll go hang out with them. Let's see. Who are we going to go hang out with? Taking a look at who is on Twitch right now that we want to go spend a little time with. A little bit of business. Who are we going to go hang out with? Will Smith is playing Fortnite. That's right. My friend Will Smith. Oh, Jeff Gersman is streaming as well. He's okay. Jeff is probably testing his new computer stuff. So I don't know how long he's going to do that, and I don't know how that's going to work out. But my friend Will, not the actor Will, is playing Fortnite, and Jeff is testing out some dual computer stuff. So we're going to go hang out with Will Smith. I'm so sick of that knock thing appearing. I wish everyone would set it so they don't accept knocks. I'm tired of fucking seeing goddamn knocks. Anyway, Will's streaming, so we're going to go hang out with Will as he plays some Fortnite. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Come along on this stream as Will and friends play some fucking competitive Fortnite stuff. It's going to be a good time. And then a reminder that on Saturday, I'm continuing to work on this model kit. I will have a poll for my patrons about what I do next. My $10 patrons will get to vote because I don't think I'm going to finish this on Saturday, but I might finish it on Saturday. Thank you all so much for being here. Have a great rest of your night. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.